everybody, today we're going to talk about how to make decluttering stick. This is a huge topic, and in fact, if you can get this one, if you can master this one, or if you can even just hear what I'm saying today, this will actually like multiply your decluttering efforts like in a way that you cannot even imagine. It is I love this concept, and I've actually been teaching this for a really long time, but not in this way. So I'm really excited to share this with you today, and that's our topic: how to make decluttering stick. All right, so I want to say hi to you all. How are you? How's it going? Hopefully my sound is good and everything is going to cooperate today. Okay, we have people on. Hello, Ginny. Hello, Erin. Fantastic. Okay, so have you ever said, I cleaned up that space, I decluttered my counter, my bathroom, the closet floor, and now it's a mess again. Like, this doesn't work. This decluttering thing, like I was sold a bill of goods, it doesn't work, right? Like I did it, and now look at it, right? It's messed up all over again, right? I hear this a lot, especially from new people. Sometimes from people in our communities, they kind of have this. A lot of the people in our membership, they already have this one down pat. But especially if you are new, you may be thinking this, right? I did it, and now it's all a mess again, And whether it's like your family that messed it up or it just happened, right? Does that ever happen to you? You're like, I don't know what happened, but my kitchen table is a magnet for stuff. Does that sound familiar? Can you all relate to that? Because I can relate to that. Right, this happens in my house, right? I am not, y'all know, I am not a minimalist. I am not perfect, whatever the heck that means, thank goodness, right? But this happens to me too, right? So that's what I want to talk about today. And, it just doesn't always stick. Dana says, story of my life, especially living with those not as concerned with keeping it up. Yes, 100%, right? They may, you may be doing all the things beautifully, and the other people in your house not so much, although that's a little bit of a different topic, right? Okay, so let me give you a little bit of backstory. So way back a million years ago, before I was a decluttering expert, I was a blogger, and I just wrote about all kinds of things on my blog. I wrote about parenting, and I had recipes, which is hilarious because if you know me now, I don't really cook that much. But we had recipes, we had money advice, we had all kinds of things. And the very first article that I wrote that went viral was on this very topic, which is so fun and so exciting because this is why we are here. This is why we are where we are today, because of that article. And it's really all about how to make decluttering stick, okay? Again, people think, okay, I did it, I'm done, but it didn't work or it didn't stick, or now I have to do it all over again. I have to start all over again. And that's kind of a big letdown, right? You're like, I was sold a bill of goods. Like, what the heck? I did, I got ready, I got busy, I let things go, and now it's all messed up all over again, right? Well, here's the thing about that. Decluttering is not a once and done thing. And just because you did it yesterday or last week or last month doesn't mean that it's going to stay that way. Okay? And I'm going to tell you how to deal with that. You might kind of know this, but I think a lot of people that are struggling with this don't really realize how this works, right? So it's not like you go in and you, let's say you're working in the bathroom, okay? The bathroom is a great place to work because it's contained, right? There's probably only one surface unless you count the floor, which I guess is another surface, right? But it's nice and neat and tidy, right? Not tidy, but it's small. So you clean it up and you're busy and you're throwing stuff out, and it looks great. Maybe you use some containers or labels, or you find nail polish that is from 1995 and all of that stuff. So you get rid of all that stuff and it looks good. Well, a couple days go by, a week goes by, maybe a month, and you look around and you're like, what the heck? Like, it looks just like it did before. Like, what happened, right? Well, life happened. You happened. Your family happened. Unless you decluttered and then went on vacation and nobody touched the bathroom is going to get messed up, right? People live there. People are using the bathroom. People are getting ready in the morning. People are using towels and brushing their teeth. And let me tell you, that is a messy business, right? especially if you've got 4 kids like I do. So that's what happened. And so I want you to realize that it is not a once and done thing, and that you're going to need to do what we call maintenance, okay? Now, I can't decide if maintenance is a positive word or a negative word. You might hear maintenance and think, oh, that sounds awful. That sounds like torture. No, thank you. Or you might be like, oh, it's kind of a fancy word, right? Like maybe it sounds way better than, like cleaning up the bathroom, right? Either way, you're gonna want to do maintenance on the spaces that you have decluttered. And we like to build this in. Okay, we like to build this in from the start. So let's say you have finished decluttering 30 seconds ago and the space looks great. Love it, congratulations, give yourself a high five, right? And then 5 minutes later, you go to get something out, maybe you're doing your hair and you set down your hairbrush. Okay, this is the key, this is the moment, this is the critical moment. We don't want to just set things down and walk away, okay? We don't want to just leave the things there, because that's how spaces get messed up, right? They don't mess themselves up, we mess them up. And it's called life. This is what we do. We're human beings, we're living in our homes. So it's not like, it shouldn't be a surprise, and there's nothing wrong with you if your kitchen gets messy every day. That means you cooked in your kitchen, congratulations. That means your family is there. That means you're doing things. This is actually a really good thing. If your home never got messed up, that means you were, sitting in a chair, like this, and nobody was moving, and nobody was living and breathing and eating and doing, okay? So it is a good thing that your house, that your spaces need maintenance, right? So let's not be surprised, okay? But how do we do it? Like, how do we make this happen, especially if you're not used to it? I know a lot of people, either they did not learn how to do maintenance growing up, right? So maybe your mom did everything for you. Maybe nobody cleaned up, maybe things were just kind of like left lying around. There was like a big panic clean every now and then. Or maybe your mom made you clean up every last little thing, and so you were like rebelling against it, and you can't even stand the thought of washing a dish because it brings back all these memories for you. So either way in the spectrum, right? But we don't learn these things, right? They don't teach us how to do it in a way that is like not a big deal, right? So we need to figure this out. We need to learn how to do maintenance, and then our life gets so much easier. Okay, I was at a conference 2 weeks ago, and someone had said this quote, and I don't remember exactly who it was, but I think it's a pretty common quote. And what he said, I think it was Dave Moreno. He said, if you want a hard life, okay, if you want a hard life, do easy things, okay? If you want your life to be hard, do all the easy things. Things like not doing maintenance, like not learning how to clean things up, like not, not going to bed on time, not eating well. Like, hard life, do easy things. If you want an easy life, do hard things, okay? If you want an easy life, do hard things, right? It's like counterintuitive, but it really, really makes sense, right? If you want your life to be easier, learn how to do the dishes. Learn how to, teach your grandkids how to come alongside and put away their toys. If you want an easy life, learn how to put your craft supplies away when you're done, right? And then life is easy. Oh my gosh, so crazy. People with messy homes think that those people with neat homes, that they're working super hard, right? But here's the dirty little secret. Here's the insider tip. The less stuff you have in a home, or the better you are at maintenance, the less you are working at that. Isn't that crazy? It's so crazy. It makes no sense. It means that you, with a house that you are frustrated in, it feels awful, and you have all this guilt and shame, you are working harder for that messy house than someone who has some systems in place and who has let some things go, and who's willing to do kitchen zero, or like put the laundry away when it comes out of the dryer. She is working way less than you are, and her house looks better. Like, how can that be, right? That's like an anomaly of physics. It's like she's putting in less work and she's getting a better result, and you're putting in all kinds of work and you feel like you have nothing to show for it. Well, that's the difference, right? The willingness to do maintenance regularly. Maintenance is not like you do it once a year and you're done, right? If you if you don't do the laundry for a month, then yeah, the laundry is going to be piling up, right? But if you do laundry every couple days, it's not that big a deal, right? So that is the difference, and it is so crazy powerful, right? And so I love it. Okay, so let me tell you a couple more things. There's a couple ways that you can teach yourself to do this. This is a habit. This is a skill, okay, which means that you can learn it. This is not something that either you've got it or you don't, right? It's not like, okay, I'm colorblind, so I can't see colors. It's not like that. This is a skill. It's like a muscle. You can train. You can learn it. If you don't know it now, if you don't have it now, all it means is you don't have it now. It doesn't mean that you never will, okay? This is absolutely a skill that you can learn. You just have to practice. Okay, so here are some ways to practice, right? The first one is, if you have a Boy Scout in your life, if you've ever heard the Boy Scouts, they have this motto, which is leave no trace, right? Leave no trace. So what that means is you are getting ready in the morning. You're doing your hair, you're putting on makeup, brushing your teeth. Okay, you don't just drop everything and walk out of the bathroom and go on about your day, right? You put things away. You have a place to put the hairbrush. Maybe you wipe down the counter if there was toothpaste or something like that, right? You have a place to put, the toothbrush and the toothpaste. It's not just like all over the place. Leave no trace, right? Now, does it take a little bit more work? Yes, it does. Maybe it's 30 seconds, maybe it's a couple minutes, especially like if you're in the process of making room in your bathroom, you got a lot of stuff, you got to declutter. But it is an investment of time at that moment, right? But 30 seconds or 3 minutes when you're getting ready in the morning is way different than carving out 3 hours on the weekend because you haven't done the maintenance, right? Because you've just ignored it all for, a month or 6 months or something like that. It's way harder to find that big chunk of time to dig in, and plus the fact that you have to psych yourself up mentally, and who wants to do that, right? Not fun. So much easier to do it when right there in the moment, right? So leave no trace. Another way I like to put it is finish what you started. Okay, finish what you started. So again, if you're getting ready in the morning, your hair, makeup, whatever, towels, don't just leave them where they are. You're not done. It's not time to walk away until you have finished. What does finishing mean? What does finishing look like? Oh, okay, it means hanging up the towel. It means putting the pajamas in the hamper, or maybe hanging them on a hook. It means, I don't know, wiping down the counter, right? That's part of finishing. So just reframe, when it's time to leave and go on to do the next thing, reframe what that looks like in your mind and finish what you started. Just tidy up. That little bit right there in the moment is so much easier to do than having to come back later and do it, right? Because when you have to come back later, let's say you come back at the end of the day, or you come back, at the end of the week. Then all of a sudden you walk in and you're like, whoa, there's towels everywhere, and like, look at the toothbrushes and the toothpaste, like, ugh, it kind of hits you. Whereas when you're just doing it in the moment, it's so much easier, right? But if you have to start over, right, because you're coming back later, it's a much different thing, right? And you go, what happened here? Did I leave this like this? Oh my gosh, right? I do this sometimes. I'm like, oh my gosh, did I do that? Did I actually walk away from that? Like, wow, I guess I wasn't paying attention there. So I try to finish what I started, right? So simple when you think about it that way. Again, not intuitive, right? It's not, if you're not used to it, it's not habitual. But you can train yourself. Just remind yourself, finish what I started, finish what I started. Right? Another way you can do it is, this is what I tell my 11-year-old, right? He's got places to go. He is always in a hurry, okay? And this child is in a rush all the time. And so he will, let's say, finish eating, right? He'll be eating at the kitchen counter. He'll finish eating and then he's like off like a shot. And I'm like, wait, come back. Don't walk away. Don't walk away until you are done. And being done, if you're having a snack, means grabbing that plate and putting it in the dishwasher. Not on the counter, not in the sink, but in the dishwasher. So simple. and takes literally 10 seconds, right? It's even for my 11-year-old who is in a rush, he can totally do it, right? But he has to be reminded, and he has to build that muscle, right? So I keep telling him, hey, don't walk away, don't walk away. And we got to be careful, right? We got to be careful how we talk to the people in our lives, and also, most importantly, how we're talking to ourselves. So this is not like, hey, don't walk away, come back here, what the heck are you doing? Like, you're screwing up again. That's not it. What it is, oh, don't walk away, come on back here. It's said in a tone of love and compassion. So different from, hey, wait a second, you're leaving a mess again, right? That's like this judgy kind of voice. We don't want to be talking in judgy voices, especially to ourselves. Okay, so just don't walk away, come on back. You're not quite done yet. And then he can do what he needs to do, and then he can go, right? And someday, and he's actually pretty good. So he's getting a lot better. But it's just a practice. It's just a habit, and we can build that habit. Okay. What else? Okay. Now, a lot of times, what I hear is, this is not fun. This is kind of a pain. I really don't like to do this kind of stuff. I'd much rather move on to the next thing, kind of like my 11-year-old, right? Like, I got places to go. I don't have time for this, or I really don't like it. It's really not that fun to do maintenance on this space, right? I'm in a hurry. What I want to tell you about that is, if you need everything to be fun or exciting or enjoyable, and there are ways, right? There are ways. We can put music on, you can come join a decluttering miracle call if you're in our community. There's lots of ways to make things more enjoyable, but in general, like, let's not need things to be super fun and enjoyable in order for us to do them. When you can do stuff that really stinks, taking out the trash, washing the dishes, if you can just do that and realize this is not fun, and maybe I'll feel better at the end, or maybe I won't. If you can just do it anyway, you have so much power in your life. Like, this will change everything for you. It's so crazy. Again, people say, how do I get motivated? How do I get motivated to clean up this area? Here's a good answer. You don't. You just do it anyway. You're welcome, right? You all are like, really? That's what you're telling us? Just do it? Yes, this is what I'm telling you. Just do it anyway. Do not wait to feel motivated. Do not expect it to be fun. Do not expect to enjoy it. None of it. Expect to be miserable the whole time. How about that? Like, if you expected that cleanup to be miserable for all 5 minutes or all 10 minutes, and you were all in, now if it isn't that bad, that's kind of a bonus, right? That's kind of a bonus. You'd be like, wow, I was really dreading that task. Really wasn't that bad. Or maybe you're like, yeah, it was bad. Like, maybe you're doing your taxes and you're like, yeah, it was every bit as bad as I dreaded that it was going to be, and I did it anyway. Now we have so much power. It's crazy, isn't it? So crazy. Now, I don't know if you've seen, this is one of the props that I like to use. This is the doll from the Coco Melon TV show. And so I use this to illustrate the idea of part of our brains that I like to call the toddler brain. Okay, so we have lots, and I'm not a neuroscientist, don't worry, way above my pay grade, but in general, there is a part of our brain that says, I don't want to do that, that's not fun. I really don't want to do that, let's go do something fun. Let's go watch some Netflix, let's go shopping, let's go have some cookies. Let's leave the messy bathroom, let's leave the kitchen, let's not put away the groceries, because that is not fun, right? I don't want to, right? That's the toddler in your brain running the show, right? Now, I don't know about you, but this toddler does not make good decisions. This toddler, it doesn't matter how much you reason with the toddler. It doesn't, you can say, but you'll feel better later. And the toddler is like, I don't care. No, I won't. It doesn't matter, right? We don't reason with toddlers. We just bring them along with love, right? And so if the toddler in your brain is running the show, and by the way, we all have that toddler, you, me, all of us, 100%, you're normal, it's human. But if you're allowing the toddler to run the show and make the decisions, then you are going to have the life that is hard, right? you're going to have this one. So what you want to do is just, again, realize, oh, I don't have to want to do that. I don't have to, it doesn't have to be fun. I could just do it anyway. And I can do it every day, over and over and over again. And that is when we have so much power. It's so crazy, right? So we do what I call being the adult, right? We say, I know this is not going to be fun. I know I don't want to clean up here. I just did this yesterday. I just did it yesterday. And now it's messed up and you're telling me I have to do it again? Yes, that's what I'm telling you. Probably not going to be as bad as you think. When we can be the adult now, our lives get easier. Oh my gosh, and this is the best thing ever, right? And when our lives are easier, now we have time for other things. Now we have time and most importantly, mental energy in our brains to do the things that we really want to do, right? Because if you have a messy house, you probably spend most of your time, most of your free time, you know, thinking about how am I going to clean this up? Or maybe you're trying to avoid thinking about how you're going to clean it up, right? That will consume so much of your mental space and energy. And when you just have it all handled, right? When you're like, I don't want to look away. I finished what I started. I don't have to enjoy it. When you're all in on that, now you have so much time freed up. So much time. And life gets easy. You may not even recognize it at first. You'll be like, oh my goodness. Like I actually have time to read a book. I have time to, you know, do my hobbies or whatever it is. And it's so much easier, right? But you got to be willing to do those hard things, right? And that is what we call making decluttering stick. All right, that is what I have for you today, my friends. Thank you so much for being here. We've got lots more of these. We do these every Thursday at 2 p.m. So I hope you can join us again next week, and I'll see you soon. All right, take care, everyone.